What's up guys, it's your boy Mr. K back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. Today we'll be reviewing the Dell se2417hg. This will be an in-depth review about if it's worth it, pros, cons, and then my overall conclusion. But just before we get into the main video, I'd just like to say please like and subscribe. Nearly at 60 subs, just support the channel. And yeah, let's get to it. So starting off with the price of this device, it's about £90, but it does go up to about £120. It just depends the time period that you're buying it in. The device from this side to this side is 23.6 inches, so basically a 24-inch display. And it has a matte screen, so it minimizes reflection. Let's say if this was a glossy display, the reflection would actually be quite annoying. It will get in the way of you gaming. Next spec is the fact that it has dual HDMI ports. So let's say you have a BT box and also a PlayStation, you can seamlessly go between one or the other with the buttons over here. So that wouldn't be a problem of you disconnecting one and reconnecting the other one. It has a full HD display with 1920 by 1080 for the actual screen display, and it has a 75Hz refresh rate. And the final thing that I would say was the spec about this device is the fact that it has actual multiple buttons at the bottom of the screen, and then this is just for changing settings or formats if actually needed. But now let's get into the pros, things that I actually liked about this device. It's actually relatively cheap. I know you guys have already heard the price, but it's actually pretty cheap in comparison to other monitors out there with the same refresh rate and screen size. And even though it is much cheaper, you don't miss out on the quality as well. It's still a high quality product. It's just cheaper. Another thing that I actually really liked about this Dell monitor was the fact that the settings are just really cool, simple and easy to use, but actually a lot of availability in what you're actually able to do. It has a variety of options from the tone of the color to the sharpness of the color, and you can even change the format of it. Say you want to change the format to go in long ways or something like that, you can actually do that, even though it won't look as good as if it's on the full screen. Furthermore, I have a out of the box positive. As soon as I got it out of the box and unboxed it and started to actually put it together, because it does have some assembly required, it was actually very easy to get up and running. All I needed to do was put in the base. That was hardly any struggle at all. And then everything else was like a normal TV or monitor. All you need to do was plug in the power cable. If you'd like sound, you do that and plug in the sound, and then plug in the actual device that's going to give the input. For example, a PlayStation, a BT hub, or anything along those lines. And overall, everything was up and running within like 10 minutes, which is pretty cool. But now let's talk about the positives about the actual gaming aspect. It has no motion blur, or as some people like to call it, ghosting. It doesn't have that because it's such a high refresh rate. Even on a budget, it doesn't have ghosting, and you can put it up to and you can change the setting for no motion blur and you won't get it, which is pretty cool. And this is due to the response time being so high, and this is one of the highest response times I've actually seen on a device under £120. But now it's time for the negatives. Things I actually didn't like about the Dell monitor. The first thing I didn't like was the power cable doesn't fit in the actual monitor properly. It falls out occasionally, even if I give it the littlest touch. And this may be to do with the fact that my power source is a far way away, and I do have to stretch the cable quite a while. But it's unfortunate that the power cable is actually so small and short. It's very inconvenient if you don't have a power extender. And of course, this does cause a very strong problem for cable management if the cable is so short. The next problem I had with this monitor was the fact that it's a tilt-only display. It can only go up and it can only go down, which is actually quite annoying for people who would like setups and PC gaming setups where it's required to be this way, because some people have 2 monitors, some people have 1 monitor like this, another one facing horizontally. So it would be quite a problem if someone is actually trying to do that. I believe you can disconnect this and use a different stand, but I have not tried this. It also has no onboard audio, so you're going to have to use an external speaker. I recommend a Sony external speaker. They're pretty loud and they get the bass done, and they're pretty much on the budget side, so that's pretty cool as well. You will need to plug that in with a wire. There's no Bluetooth way to connect it to your speaker, and you can also use this by literally plugging it in, because it is a normal headphone jack that can fit into there. If you have an external input like a PlayStation, obviously you can still use it with your PlayStation mic. It's just actually something to do with the external speaker. And the final thing I actually didn't like about this monitor was the fact that a lot of people had this delivered with dead pixels, and I personally was lucky enough not to experience this, but people have managed to get sent a monitor with dead pixels, some tiny, like smaller than this, but some literally half the screen, and it is unfortunate. It does happen on lower quality monitors more than expensive ones, but it will be able to return it if it was actually delivered like this. But it's just something to be careful of when you're buying budget monitors in general, but especially this one. But now it's conclusion time. Let me put down this heavy monitor. I would highly recommend it to anyone in the budget gaming market and still want a high refresh rate monitor that is actually able to do all the things that it needs to do without motion blur. And yeah, it's been your boy Mr. K. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, because it supports the channel. Get to 200 subscribers before the end of the year. And yeah, thanks and bye.